Hello everyone, and welcome to the World Federation of Independent Scouts training video. You may be asking yourself, what is scouting? Traditionally, individuals think scouting only involves outdoor activities, camping, or training and surviving in the wilderness. While these are certainly activities and characteristics of scouting, there is a much deeper meaning to the scouting movement. In 1903, a member of the English Army, Robert Baden-Powell, became a best-selling author with his work Aids to Scouting, a military training manual. Upon discovering that this military training manual was being used by teachers and youth organizations, Baden-Powell, or BP, decided to rewrite Aids for Scouting to suit a youth readership. Due to the popularity of this new book, in 1907, BP held a camp on Brownsea Island to test out his ideas. About 20 boys attended, 8 from local boys' brigade companies, and about 12 public school boys, mostly sons of his friends. This became known as the first Boy Scout gathering, and from here on out the Boy Scout movement progressed. In the years to come, BP wrote several other works laying the foundation for the Boy Scout movement, including Scouting for Boys, written in 1908, The Wolf Cub's Handbook, written in 1916, Aids to Scoutmastership, written in 1919, and Rovering to Success, written in 1922. These 4 works laid the foundation for the Boy Scout ideology. Soon after founding the Scouting movement, BP saw the need for leader training. Early Scoutmaster training camps were held in London and Yorkshire. BP wanted practical training in the outdoors in campsites. However, World War I delayed the development of leadership training, so the first formal Wood Badge course was not offered until 1919. Gilwell Park, just outside London, was purchased specifically to provide a venue for the opening ceremonies, and they were held on July 26, 1919. The course was attended by 18 participants and lecturers. After the first course, Wood Badge training continued at Gilwell Park, and it became the home of leadership training in the Scout movement. Now that we've given you a brief overview of the history of Scouting, let us tell you more about what Scouting exactly is. Scouting is defined by BP himself as a game with a purpose. The purpose of Scouting is to provide the community and the world with a group of strong, independent leaders. You may ask yourself why BP used the word game to describe Scouting. Well, in the dictionary, a common definition of the word game is a procedure or strategy for gaining an end. The end to this game is establishing a world full of strong leaders. To accomplish this end, BP set forth 5 specific rules to the game of Scouting, and without one, Scouting would not be possible. The first rule to the game of Scouting is that it must be played by the youth. In other words, all the activities, work, and training should be completed by the young. The second rule of Scouting is that it is active. What is active? Active is characterized by action rather than contemplation or speculation. This rule sets a difference between typical classroom learning and Scout learning. Typically, in a schoolroom environment, tasks are very sedentary and repetitive. However, in the Scouts, the tasks are often interchangeable, while in the Scouts, the training is much more diverse and typically is set upon by the group and Scout leaders. Oftentimes, the counselors themselves are teachers in a schoolroom environment and need to be reminded that this training is much different than that of the school. The third rule to Scouting is that it has a method. One part of the Scouting method is to learn by doing. The fourth rule to the game of Scouting is that Scouting has a program. What this creates is a learning environment that is based off the participants' aptitude, beliefs, and interests. This creates a very personalized learning environment that is hard to come across in anywhere else. And lastly, the final rule to Scouting is that it must be supervised by an adult. What do we mean by an adult? the individual must be a fully developed and mature grown-up. To reiterate, the Scouting movement was founded by Baden-Powell in his 4 major works in 1908. Scouting is defined as a game with a purpose, and that purpose is to instill a sense of character and leadership in the youth that will carry them through the rest of their lives. And finally, there are 5 major rules to the game called Scouting, and they are: it is played by the youth, it is active, it has a method, it has a program, and it is supervised by an adult. We hope that we have given you a basic background of the Scouting movement, and we thank you for your time.